My name is Jane Taylor, and I'm 28 years old. People see my smile and think my life is perfect. But behind that smile is a story of betrayal that started the day my own mother found out how much I earn. That day, she showed up at my door with my spoiled brother, and what she demanded from me left me speechless. Before we continue, don't forget subscribe, because I have many more stories to tell. Stories about family, money, love, and the painful truths we often hide behind a smile. I still remember the sound of that knock, firm, familiar, and filled with something I couldn't name. It was a Friday evening, and all I wanted was to take off my shoes, warm some rice, and watch a movie in peace. I'd just gotten back from work after a long week of meetings and deadlines. My promotion had finally come through 2 weeks ago, and though I hadn't told many people, word somehow traveled fast, faster than I ever expected. When I opened the door, my heart dropped. Standing there was my mother, her handbag tucked under her arm, and beside her, Tobi, my brother, holding 2 heavy suitcases like he was moving in. "Nora!" my mother exclaimed, smiling too wide. "You didn't even tell us you bought this fine apartment." I froze for a second before forcing a smile. "Mummy, Tobi, what are you both doing here?" "Oh, don't start," she said, brushing past me like she owned the place. "We came to see our big girl. You've been avoiding your family since you became a big madam at that company." Tobi didn't say much. He just dropped the bags on my floor and headed straight for the fridge. He opened it, saw juice, and said, "Ah, you're really enjoying life, hero." Something in my chest tightened. My apartment was small, a cozy 1-bedroom I worked years to afford. But suddenly, it felt too full. My mother's eyes scanned every corner, every shelf, every piece of furniture like she was inspecting a prize. "It's neat," she said, nodding slowly. "Very neat." You're doing well, my daughter. I heard how much you're earning now." The spoon I was holding nearly fell from my hand. "You heard?" She turned to face me fully, her tone calm but sharp. "Don't look so surprised. Do you think secrets last forever? One of my friend's nieces works at your company. She told me your salary. My dear, I almost fainted. You didn't tell your mother you're making that kind of money?" I stood still, my throat dry. I didn't even know what to say. For years, I'd hidden my financial life from my family. Not because I was selfish, but because I knew how things could get. Whenever I had little, my mother would take. Whenever I had much, she would demand more. "Mummy," I began carefully. "I'm still trying to manage myself." "Manage yourself?" she cut in, raising her brows. "What are you managing? You're living well, eating well, and working in a big office. Your brother has been struggling, and you're here keeping all that money to yourself?" Tobi, still chewing, added lazily, "Yeah, Nora, you can at least help your family. You know how hard it's been since Dad passed." That guilt always worked on me. It always had. But this time, something inside me resisted. I wanted to speak, to explain that I had plans. Savings, rent, maybe even school again. But the words just wouldn't form. Then my mother said something that made my heart skip. "Don't worry," she said casually, setting her bag down. "We won't disturb you for long. We'll just stay for a few weeks. You know, till Tobi figures things out." The spoon finally slipped from my hand and hit the floor with a soft clang. I looked at the two of them. Tobi already scrolling through my phone on the couch, my mother taking off her shoes like she belonged here. And that was when I realized they hadn't come to visit. They had come to stay. The next morning, I woke up to the smell of fried eggs and the sound of my mother humming in the kitchen. For a moment, I thought I was dreaming. Then I heard Tobi laughing loudly from the living room, and it all came rushing back. They were still here. I rubbed my eyes and checked the time. It wasn't even 7 a.m. "Mummy, good morning," I said, trying to sound polite. "Morning, my dear," she replied cheerfully. "I made breakfast for us. Don't you feel better now that the house is lively again?" I looked at the pan, then at the sink full of dishes she had used. My quiet, tidy kitchen looked like a market stall. Before I could answer, Toby shouted from the couch, "Nora, the Wi-Fi password." I sighed. "It's written on the router." I checked. "It's not working." "That's because you typed it wrong," I said. "Then come fix it for me now." It wasn't even 8 a.m., and I already felt exhausted. At work that day, my friend Ada noticed something was off. "You look like you haven't slept," she said. I gave a tired smile. My family showed up unannounced. She raised her brows. "Oh no, which family?" "My mom and brother." Ada's lips tightened. "And they're staying?" I nodded. "Apparently." "Girl," she sighed. "You need to set boundaries. I've heard stories like this before." I wanted to say she was wrong, that it was just a short visit, but deep down I knew Ada was right. That evening I came home to find my mother rearranging my living room furniture. "Mummy, what are you doing?" "This couch should be by the window," she said confidently. "More air." "But I like it the way it was." "Ah, you and your stubbornness," she muttered. "You've started behaving like those office girls who think they know everything." I said nothing. I just stood there, feeling my peace slip further away. Toby, meanwhile, had made himself completely at home. He turned the living room into a gaming area, leaving wires, plates, and crumbs everywhere. He laughed, shouted, and cursed at the TV while playing. One night, I asked him to lower the volume. He just said, "Ah, Nora, stop acting like you're renting this place to me." The words stung more than I wanted to admit. Every time I tried to talk to my mother about it, she brushed it off. "He's your brother," she'd say. "He'll get his life together soon." But soon never came. Days turned into weeks. The fridge emptied faster than I could refill it. The electricity bill doubled. And still, they acted like it was my duty to keep them comfortable. Then one evening, while we were having dinner, my mother looked up from her plate and said, "Your brother needs your help." "With what?" I asked. "He wants to start a business, something small. You'll give him some money, right?" I put down my spoon. "Mummy, I'm still paying my bills. I can't afford to fund—" She interrupted sharply. "You can't afford to help your own blood? God will not be happy if you forget your family." I looked at Toby. He didn't even meet my eyes. He just kept eating, smirking slightly. That night, as I lay in bed, I thought about how quiet my life used to be. How peaceful. Now even silence felt like a stranger. The argument started on a Sunday afternoon, though the tension had been building for days. Toby had been pestering me nonstop about the business idea he wanted to start. One day it was a car wash, the next it was an online shop, and then something about selling sneakers. I knew what that meant. A new excuse for money that would disappear in weeks. "Mummy, I really can't," I said gently as I washed the dishes. "I've already told you. I'm trying to save for my future." My mother folded her arms, standing behind me. "Future? What kind of future do you mean when your brother is struggling right now? You think success is only for you?" I turned to face her. "Mummy, I've been helping since I started working. Every time I get something, it goes to fixing one problem or the other. I need to focus on my life too." Her eyes narrowed. "You're talking back to me now? That job has spoiled you." Toby joined in from the couch. "Nora, why are you being stingy? You have money. You're just pretending." "Pretending," I repeated, trying to keep my voice calm. "You've been here for 3 weeks. You don't work, you don't clean, you don't even buy food. What exactly am I pretending about?" He shrugged, not even looking up from his phone. "You're our sister. It's your duty to help." Something inside me broke a little. I felt anger rising, not just at them, but at myself for letting it go this far. For the rest of the week, I avoided arguments. I went to work early and came home late. My own apartment didn't feel like home anymore. There was always noise, always complaints. If it wasn't my mother telling me how I should cook, it was Tobi asking for money to invest. Then, one evening, I returned from work and noticed something strange. The table where I kept my laptop was empty. My heart skipped. I checked the drawers, the bedroom, everywhere. Nothing. "Tobi," I called out, my voice sharp. He came out of the room, eating biscuits like nothing happened. "What happened to my laptop?" "Oh," he said casually. "I borrowed it. I needed to check something online." "Borrowed? Without asking me?" He frowned. "It's not that deep. I'm your brother." I took a deep breath, trying to stay calm. "Where is it now?" "With my friend," he said. "He's helping me design a logo for my business idea." That was it. My patience snapped. "You had no right to take my things, Tobi. That laptop is for work." He rolled his eyes. "You're shouting over nothing." My mother came out of the bedroom at that moment. "What's all this noise?" "Mummy, he took my laptop without permission." "So what?" she said calmly. "He's your brother. He said he needed it. You can't refuse him small help." I stared at her, speechless. The woman who was supposed to protect me was defending the one who kept using me. My voice trembled. "Mummy, this isn't small. I work hard for what I have. You both don't respect that." Her expression changed, her voice sharp as a knife. "Don't you dare raise your voice at me. You're forgetting who took care of you. Without me, you'd be nothing." The words hit harder than I expected. For a second, I couldn't breathe. Tobi smirked. "Maybe you should just chill, Nora. You're acting like a stranger in your own family." I looked at both of them, my own blood, and suddenly realized that this wasn't my home anymore. It was theirs, and they weren't leaving. I didn't say another word that night. I just went into my room, locked the door, and sat in silence. It was in that silence that something inside me shifted. The guilt that had always kept me quiet began to fade, and in its place, a quiet kind of strength started to grow. The morning after the fight, the apartment was quiet, almost too quiet. Tobi had gone out early, and my mother stayed in the room, pretending not to see me. I wanted to believe the silence meant peace, but deep down, I knew it was the calm before another storm. I made myself a cup of tea and sat on the couch, scrolling through my phone, trying to distract my mind. That's when I noticed a message from my bank, a withdrawal alert. I frowned. I hadn't spent anything that morning. I checked again. Then my heart dropped. It wasn't just one withdrawal. There were 3. Each one made from the same ATM card, mine. I quickly opened my bag, searching for my wallet. My card was gone. My hands shook as I searched every corner of the house. Nothing. When Tobi walked in hours later, carrying a plastic bag of snacks, I didn't even wait for him to settle. "Tobi," I said quietly, "where's my card?" He blinked like he didn't understand. "Card? What card?" "My ATM card. Don't play dumb, it's missing." He tried to laugh it off. "Oh, that. Relax. I used it to withdraw some money. I was going to tell you." "Withdraw what?" I asked, my voice trembling. He shrugged. "Just a small amount. I needed to buy some things for the business." The teacup slipped from my hand and shattered on the floor. "You took my money without asking?" He frowned. "You're making it sound like I stole something. You're my sister. What's yours is mine too." Before I could respond, my mother came out from the room, adjusting her head tie. "What's going on here?" I turned to her, my eyes wet. "He took money from my account, Mummy, without my permission." She sighed like she'd heard something trivial. "You're shouting again. You're too sensitive, Nora. He's your brother. If he used the money, he'll pay you back when the business grows." I couldn't believe what I was hearing. "Pay me back? He doesn't even have a job, Mummy. He doesn't even know what business he wants to do." My mother glared at me. "Watch your tone. That money will bless you both. You're being selfish again, just like your father used to say." That last line broke something inside me. My father. The same man who had left me to work extra hours just to feed us when I was still a teenager. And now his memory was being used to silence me. I stood there, shaking. You both think I owe you because I work hard, but I've been helping since I got my first paycheck. You've taken, and still it's not enough. My mother's voice rose. So what are you saying? That we're a burden? Tears filled my eyes. I'm saying I'm tired. I'm tired of being the only one who gives. She crossed her arms and turned away. You've changed, Nora. Money has made you proud. Her words echoed in the room long after she walked away. That night, I sat on the bed, staring at the empty space where my savings used to be. Ada called, and I finally told her everything. She was silent for a few seconds before saying, Nora, listen to me. You need to take your life back. They'll keep draining you as long as you allow it. Her words hit deep. I had spent my whole life trying to earn love through sacrifice. But maybe love wasn't supposed to feel like punishment. For the first time, I decided to stop being afraid of my own family. I turned off my phone, packed a small bag, and quietly started making plans. Not to run away, but to take control. The next morning felt different. I woke up before sunrise, sat at the edge of my bed, and just breathed. The apartment was silent, but it wasn't peace. It was the kind of quiet that comes after a storm has destroyed everything in its path. I went to the kitchen to boil water. My mother was already there, dressed in her wrapper, sipping tea. She looked up at me and said, Nora, I've been thinking. You should send some money to fix the roof of the house in the village. It's leaking again. I froze. What roof? Our family house, she said calmly. You know it's your responsibility now. Your father is gone. Your brother is still young. I stared at her, trying to find any sign of remorse. There was none. Mummy, I said softly, I can't do this anymore. She frowned. Can't do what? This, I said. Paying for everything. Fixing everyone's life. Carrying the blame for not doing enough. Her eyes hardened. So that's how you talk to your mother now? You think because you have a small salary, you're better than us? Tobi walked in, stretching. What's going on? She's refusing to help again, my mother said bitterly. She said she's tired. Tobi scoffed. Tired of what? You live alone, you have money, and you can't even help your family? What kind of sister are you? I turned to him, my hands trembling but my voice steady. I'm the kind of sister who's been helping since day one. I bought your clothes, paid your fees, sent you money when I didn't even have enough for myself, and all I get in return is insults and disrespect. He rolled his eyes. Here we go again. My mother raised her voice. You're talking to us like strangers now. Is this how you repay the woman who gave birth to you? I took a deep breath. Mummy, I love you. But you don't see me. You only see what I can give. And Tobi, you've never tried to stand on your own feet because you know someone will always carry you. The room went silent. For a moment, no one spoke. Then, slowly, I walked to the door, opened it, and said quietly, You both need to leave. My mother's eyes widened. Excuse me? I said you should go. I've done enough. I need my life back. Tobi laughed dryly. You're throwing your own family out? I nodded. If it means I can have peace, yes. My mother looked at me like she didn't recognize me. You'll regret this, Nora. One day you'll come back begging for us. Her words didn't sting the way they used to. I just stood there, silent. They packed their things slowly, muttering under their breath. When the door finally closed behind them, the apartment felt empty. But in that emptiness, I found something I hadn't felt in months. Peace. I sat on the couch and looked around. For the first time, it was quiet in a good way. The walls didn't feel like they were closing in. The air didn't feel heavy. I thought about my mother, about Tobi, about all the years I tried to earn their approval. And then I realized something simple but freeing. Love isn't proven by how much you give, especially to people who only come to take. I picked up my phone and texted Ada, They're gone, she replied a few minutes later. Good. Now you can breathe. I smiled for the first time in weeks. I wasn't sure what would happen next, whether they'd call, whether they'd ever forgive me. But for once, I didn't care. Because for the first time in my life, I had chosen myself.